Welcome to Healing Your Families. This is Emmylou Penrod, and we're continuing with our theme of physical well-being. Well, I've always been taught, and I've always believed, that our bodies were actually designed to heal themselves if we take proper care of them, if we give them the right nutrients and the right conditions. So I'm really excited to have a guest, Amy Supran, who is an expert in how the body can heal itself. She's had a unique experience herself. So, Amy, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And why don't you start by telling us about your journey, your own personal health?
Sure. Well, I've had a journey all my life, I feel like, but from a very early age, contracted mono when I was 5 years old, and that pretty much just killed my immune system. And also had scoliosis in my back, and obviously that progresses obviously when you age. But then on top of all of that and some other health challenges as well, about 3.5 years ago, I find out I have this crazy rare disease called CRPS, which is chronic regional pain syndrome. And the best way to describe it is like cancer for the nervous system. If you look it up in the McGill pain scale, it's above childbirth, it's above amputation, it's above cancer. It's not something that you want to have. And the thing is it's extremely rare as well. I believe one of the statistics is 1 out of 300,000 people actually get that. And I was just one of those lucky ones for some reason that did. Long story short, I had multiple broken bones within a very short period of time, and my body just went like, what the heck, I give up, more or less. So it started with 2 broken ribs on my left side. I broke that, then my sciatica went a week later. Went to the doctor to fix, I had some osteoarthritis in my knee. Well, they put the PRP injection into the wrong spot, which caused what's called a knee fat pad impingement, which is basically every time you walk, you have a knife going into your knee. Well, that was my right side. While I was taking my dogs out, the right knee gave way and I broke my left foot. So, and this truly was all within about 6 months time. So when I broke the left foot, the doctor that put the cast on too tight, and which actually caused nerve damage in the left foot. So I couldn't really wait there on the right side. I wasn't supposed to, but that was the only thing that I could do at the time, or a wheelchair basically, because I could not wait there at all on my left because of the broken foot. But it wasn't healing. So I went to 5, 6 doctors, something like that, all these MRIs and x-rays and all of that. And finally someone said, I think you might have CRPS. So long story short, went to this doctor in Cary, North Carolina. I live in North Carolina. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina at the time. Told me that, yes, you absolutely have it. And, you're basically going to lose your foot if we don't get these treatments right now, kind of thing. So I left everything. I had to leave my kids 3.5 hours away, to basically take care of myself. And, I'm still not near my kids, but we're getting there, hopefully. But it's definitely been a process. It's been a mental process, because I was all alone in a strange city and didn't have any help whatsoever, doing treatments, still working full time, trying to do sales, and three times a week doing treatments, 2 times a day. And it was absolutely ridiculous. So long story short, I was in a wheelchair for the last 3.5 years. And through my health journey, I've just learned many different holistic things to do to take care of my body, to heal it naturally. And that's kind of where it all kind of started. So, I just want to educate people that, if you got a crazy disease, if you're suffering from chronic pain, there is a way to heal it naturally without having to go the full Western medicine route, which is all of these chemicals and treatments and craziness that just usually makes your body more angry. Um, so so yeah, I mean, hopefully that was the short version of my crazy life the last 3 years. But I will say now I am starting to walk by myself. I still walk with a walker, but I mean, compared to where I was, like I couldn't even put my foot up for more than had to constantly elevate my foot. Couldn't even be down for 5 minutes. So I couldn't, make food myself barely at all, nothing. Like I couldn't go into the kitchen by myself. I was basically a homebody. I couldn't do anything. So, from going to that to now the level of pain is significantly decreased. And, starting to, like I said, starting to walk again is just, it's a huge victory. So.
It is indeed. Now I'm so impressed with what you've been through. And when you're in a situation like that, you have a choice. You can just give up,
Right.
and resign yourself to this life, or you can work to find solutions. And you sound like someone who has a really strong, positive attitude. I applaud you for your resilience.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, they get this diagnosis. It's all about their roots. If you don't have good roots, if you don't have a good, faith, I don't know what everyone is, but, me, it's, a strong walk with God.
Yes.
And, because of that walk with God, I was able to pursue and persevere, but, sorry, my dog's going crazy. But, what was I saying? Yes. So I think because I have had those roots already, because, I've read a lot of books about mindset and everything like that. And, I've taught people and empowered people and stuff like that before that, I was able to take that and be like, okay, well, this is my life right now. And oh, by the way, I'm also a 3-time domestic violence survivor too. So you wonder why my nerves are shot.
Yeah. So you have dealt with physical challenges, emotional challenges. And again, I'm glad to hear that it sounds like you're out of that situation.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I definitely am. And but I honestly, I would say it was Christmas a couple years back. I was beside myself because, I had all of this craziness go on. I didn't have my family here. No one was there for me, and it was Christmas time. And it was literally Christmas Eve. And I just remember like bawling my eyes out, and I had to draw a line in the sand. And I basically had to say, okay, God, you're going to get me through this. You're going to heal me. Just show me the way. And, you just really have to draw a line in the sand and just say, I'm going to heal. I'm, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of how, and I'm just not going to let this define me.
Ooh,
So,
that is so powerful.
yeah. And honestly, ever since I did that though, everything just started happening where, hey, try this. Did you try this yet? Did you try this yet? Did you try this? Like constantly kept on having things, different, supplements, creams, whatnot to help naturally heal it, that I've learned over the last 3 years, basically.
Okay, now that's what we want to hear. Tell us, what did you try? What worked? Tell us more about that journey.
Well, so a big one, if you have any kind of nerve pain, is alpha lipoic acid. Benfotiamine is another one. Then you can get those, straight off of Amazon, but get a good organic type brand of that. Vitamin C is very important to take every day. Vitamin D is very important to take every day. I literally have a bag called Big Bertha, and it is a very big bag, and it's full of supplements and then these natural treatments that I've done. I also do ionic foot baths. They're a detox foot bath. it actually pulls out toxins in your body. A lot of people are sick because of the toxins that they have in their body. The other thing would be, let's see here, I'm trying to think of all my stuff that I always use every day, like close to every day. Resamax is another thing that I use that's really good. It kind of calms the nerves and kind of resets the nerves. Healy is another device that I use. And then honestly, a major game changer for me was using these patches called LifeWave. And truly, that is really what set my healing just catapulted. Like I used to be like a level 20 pain. Okay. If you're looking at a 1 to 10 scale, it was like a 20. And now, man, I mean, I have days where it's 2 or 3. I mean, that's unheard of usually with CRPS. CRPS, you're on fire 24/7. It's not fun whatsoever. And usually it just spreads and it spreads into your organs, and it's not good. Not good at all.
No.
But yeah, these patches are truly a godsend. My uncle has Parkinson's, and he's been using him for a couple of months now, and he has gone from no mobility, wasn't able to talk, to now he can talk again. He's actually working on a car with my cousin. I like 2 months. And my knee is fully healed now. It was surgery worthy. I needed surgery on it. I refused surgery because CRPS and surgery don't mix very well. So I wasn't doing surgery. And then same thing with my back, so the back is getting better. My foot, like I can keep my foot down for much longer now. Like, I mean, at least 30-40 minutes compared to where it was, before. So it's everything's just getting better, and it's progressing, and every single month it's just getting better and better and better and better.
Now, the supplements you mentioned were supplying your body with nutrients that it needed to heal itself.
Right.
Talk about the patches. Now, how do they work with the body's natural ability to heal?
So it uses light wave technology. So the best way to describe it is think of photosynthesis, like with a plant. It's the same kind of scenario. Or think of like an infrared laser light. Same kind of scenario as far as that goes. I have a lot of information, so if anyone does want information, I'm more than happy to share it with them.
Just a basic overview of, so it's using light energy.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? Is it stimulating like on the cellular level?
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm. It boosts the cellular level. It takes away it takes away the toxins and everything that's in your body, and what it does is it actually rebuilds your stem cells as well. So rebuilds and reactivates your stem cells. So obviously as you age, your stem cells become dormant, and by the time you're 50, all of your stem cells, I believe, are dormant or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But basically, the older you get, that's why it takes you longer to heal when you're older. Because you're not, you're not, your stem cells aren't just, they're dormant. They're not, they're asleep.
I can just say, I know that's true. When you get an abrasion or a bruise, I'm noticing that when I was younger, that would be gone in a couple days. And now it's like weeks.
Right.
And I'm just thinking, why is this? But I had heard that too. Those stem cells are so important. Newborn babies have plenty, but as we get older, we lose them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so this actually rebuilds it and reactivates it. So some of these before and after pictures, it's insane. You see someone, a couple years down the road, and you're like, are you the same person? Like your face looks different. Everything looks different. Someone that I talked to, as a friend, she hasn't seen me in about 7 months. And she's like, Amy, you're glowing, you're happy, you're glowing, like I can tell you're just not in so much pain anymore. And because like before you could tell it on my face. Like I'm really good at hiding it really, really well, but like with her, because she was my friend and everything, I was kind of more like, oh, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she knew you.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know, so yeah, that definitely, all of those things, the also just what you put into your body, no artificial flavors, colors, gluten free, that's super important to be gluten free because it decreases inflammation. So if you have any inflammation in your body, that's very important. Um, the Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other things, gluten free, dairy free, basically taste free. If you do taste free, usually you're okay. But it's not the best diet in the world, but holy cow, it makes such a difference when you actually follow it. But these patches though, like they're one's brain balancing, nerve balancing, decreases inflammation. I notice a difference right away as soon as I take it off in about 15 minutes. Just like I would notice a difference if I had gluten in 15 minutes. My pain starts getting bigger, the inflammation starts growing, everything. So you can see my foot grow. It's not fun. But yeah.
So you wear the patches just around the clock?
It's 12 hours on and 12 hours off.
Okay.
So sadly, you can't wear them all the time. I wish you could. But there's ones that work instantly, like you notice a difference, like Eon, for instance. And then there's other ones where you're not going to notice a difference right away, but it's the one that's actually rebuilding and reactivating your stem cells. So that takes time, because stem cells take at least 3-4 months to start growing. So you'll notice maybe more energy and things like that, but maybe not not anything really happening with the stem cells yet, as far as that goes. But there's different stuff to help with pain severity and everything like that, man, it royally helps for sure. So
And so it sounds like you've had some health challenges all your life, but
yeah.
the last 3 years, right? This is when you received the diagnosis of this rare disease that keeps
Yep.
you in constant pain.
Yeah. There's still talk, maybe I have Lyme's or something like that as well, which probably didn't help anything. But obviously, with what I dealt with domestic violence, your nerves get really shot with that. So what I've actually found is there's a lot of women that have this disease, and I think it's because their vagus nerve is shot too.
Yes.
Because you're just, it's such a fight or flight all the time when you're in one of those abusive situations. And your body takes a major toll, with your stress level and everything. And
now it's my understanding the vagus nerve is like the major nerve in your body, doesn't it?
yes.
Longest. So it's really critical to keep it healthy, right?
Absolutely. And it's everything, and it affects your organs. It affects everything. I went to the hospital like 5 times or something in 1 year because I couldn't breathe. And I'm like, what in the world? I'm overheating. I can't breathe. Like I was only up for 5 minutes, but it's because of the severity of the pain that I was in. And then also it affects your heart. It affects your lungs. It affects your organs. It affects everything. So yeah, it's not something, vagus nerve is, it helps with anxiety. It helps with the level of pain that you have. If your vagus nerve is not firing correctly, it's going to send down all these other crazy, what's the best way to say it? Like, just crazy things that happen to your body, basically. And you can't control it. It could be whatever. It could be your stomach. It could be your head. It could be your whatever. You might have hurt yourself somewhere, and then you're hurting over here on fire, and you're like, why the heck am I on fire here? Doesn't even make sense. So yeah, it's the vagus nerve. If you look it up, it is the powerhouse of the body. And if it's not working correctly, you're in a world of hurt, literally, and you need to do whatever you can to fix it.
Critical to keep the vagus nerve healthy.
Absolutely.
And these patches address that.
Yes, they absolutely do. the other things that I mentioned as well help. I'm more than happy to share, if anyone wants to email me, I'm more than happy to share what I've used, not just the patches that have helped, but I mean, the game changer by far definitely was the patches.
Well, I would dare to say it started with your attitude. You made that
Absolutely.
decision that
Oh, yeah.
you would not be defeated.
Exactly. And that's important because there's a lot of people, actually CRPS is called a suicide disease, because there's so many people that commit suicide because how long would you want to be on fire for? And
Yeah. Oh,
if
yeah.
it's spread throughout your whole body, how long would you want to be on fire for your whole body? It affects your mind so much. And you just can't go down that negative rabbit hole. That's why I had to draw a line in the sand, Christmas time. I was there. I was to the point of suicide. Like I was just like, you know what? I don't think I can do this anymore. My family's not here. I'm doing this all by my own, you know. But uh, it's kind of like, no devil, not today. I'm gonna draw a line in the sand and things are just gonna work and I'm just gonna make it happen. And it literally, God just opened all of these doors for me. And I'm just in such a better place. But yeah, the mindset is super important. You can't let it define you. You can't let your disease, whatever you're going through, define you.
Or
Um,
even the abuse. If you're going through an abusive situation, you can't let that define you either.
no, and if you're going through an abusive situation, get out. And I will personally help you get out. I mean, it's not just your mental state, it's your whole body that's affected. And I can't tell you how many women that are now my friends that have gone through domestic abuse situations and now actually have CRPS. It's a crazy rare like amount, quite frankly.
I wonder if we fully appreciate how closely our minds and bodies and emotions are all connected. You've heard the expression, you can worry yourself sick. I think it's true.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. So, like I don't even like using the P word, pain.
Yes.
I use bubbles. And I tried
There
to
you
say it
go.
and I stopped myself because you're probably going to be like, what the heck are bubbles? But instead of saying the P word, I say bubbles, and then you have little bubbles or big bubbles. It depends on the day sometimes, but it's more fun to say your body literally creates more bubbles when you say that P word. Like it
I believe
literally
it.
activates it.
And if you're busy doing something, you can actually divert your mind away. But if someone says, oh, brings that word up, then whoa, yeah, you're right. And
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
it's interesting too, because in hypnobirthing, they don't use terms like labor pains, contractions. They call it a surge. And
Hmm.
I think just that change in your mindset, get rid of the negative terminology. And
Yeah. And it's important if you don't know, like, that's why it's important to find a coach that can kind of walk you through and help you with that. And I am, you know, me and a partner are actually going to be working on that. We're not there yet, but I'm more than happy to help anyone if they do need,
well,
help with it.
you have a lot of information to share just from your journey, your
Absolutely.
experience. But
Absolutely.
there's a need for this. I think there are several people who live in chronic pain. And if
Hmm.
they can find something that relieves that chronic bubbles,
Yeah.
if they can find a way to improve mobility. So let's talk about the quality of your life now that you're not confined to a wheelchair or bedridden.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm happier. That's for sure.
Are,
Um,
are you getting more support now than you did? You mentioned that you were alone. You felt like you only had your higher power, God,
right,
to turn
right.
to.
What's crazy is I feel like I had to go through all of that so I could help other people that might be alone as well, so I can relate to them. Um, because I was always like, God, I'm a good person. Why the heck did this have to happen to me? Um, but now I've got a supportive boyfriend, that, nobody was in the picture before. Actually, a boyfriend left me because of health challenges. Um, and then great friends. I've found some amazing friends through the support group that I'm with, and just I've been begging God and just praying for God to give me, good people in my life, that are actually loyal, because there's not a lot of loyalty anymore, and yeah, I mean, I could have used them, 3 years ago, like, where the heck were you, kind of thing. But I
You're
think
in a better place now.
oh man, yeah, mindsets, a lot better, attitude, level of severity of bubbles, all of it. I mean, everything's just gotten better and better and better. But I've also spoken every day in every way. I'm getting better and better. I have affirmations that I try to do every single day to keep that up, or watching something positive on TV that that
You just said something golden. I want to go back to that.
mhm,
You said, I had to go through this so I could help someone else.
mhm,
That's huge.
absolutely.
Anyone else may say, oh, wow, that sounds horrid. You know, and so you're in a perfect position to help them. I love that. So how do people contact you? I love that you've been through this. You want to help other people. How do they contact you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. It's just Amy Sopran. Or I could I think you were going to put it in the
Yes,
chat.
your email, info@unveilingyourstrengths.com.
Mm-hmm.
So they can, and is that email on your LinkedIn? They can connect with you through LinkedIn. I will put the email and your LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, it's not on my LinkedIn because I do have a full-time job, but let me see
You have
here.
a full-time job in addition to, wow.
Yeah, and I still was somehow managed to be the top salesperson, even doing treatments when I was going through them and stuff. Um, let's
So
see
you
here.
have a compelling message and story to share.
Yeah, absolutely. And it needs to be said. And I'm very passionate about helping people. I always have been. And now I just feel like I'm at the point where it's time, because if I don't just like drawing a line in the sand before, if I don't, then I'll just keep on thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and not do anything about it. So, it's time to create action in that. And I know I have a good idea of already what me, and I have a partner already, what we're going to do. And we just gotta,
There are a lot of people that need your help.
yeah, absolutely. And I would empower people, if they are going through something, that, don't let it define you. And, you just gotta don't get caught up in the mess. Don't do your best to not have head trash. If you're having a bad bubble day, say it's getting better right now. Speak what you want, not what you don't. I always say,
I like that term, head trash.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Take out the trash.
You got to take out that trash. Absolutely. So, just like if you don't take out the trash in your house, it's not going to smell too good. It's the same thing with your head. If you don't take out that trash, you're just your your head is not going to function properly. you know Things are just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And it drives me nuts when someone tries to complain about what they're going through to a certain extent, because it's just like, is that what you want? What do you want? you know because I know the value in speaking what you want over your life, and it might not come right away. It took me a few years to to get to that correct, full correct mindset. And then, a few more months, to find everything to make it work. So, but your victory is coming.
You persevered,
Yeah.
you got support, and your mindset. You had that firm mindset and turning to your higher power. Whatever anyone wants to define their higher power, for
Mhm.
me, it's God. For Amy, it's God. And that, that's, we are spiritual beings. We need that source.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just, y- watch the right things. Don't put negative into your head. Don't watch the news.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I still watch cartoons sometimes. Like I need, if I'm having a bad bubble day or something like that, I'm gonna stink and watch Looney Tunes or something like that, just for the heck of it sometimes, just because it gets my mind into a better, happier place.
Yes.
So
That's true.
yeah.
Amy, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
sharing your story, your insights, and I hope people connect with you through LinkedIn, and I'll have that email address in there too. And
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I'm more than happy to help people if they want to reach out to me.
you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So for my viewers, join me again next week at the same time. We'll be talking to the importance of water, just staying hydrated. I'll have another expert to share her insights then. So until then, love yourself, love your families. Let's make the world a better place by strengthening families. This is Emily Penrod with healingyourfamilies.com.